Well, it's a good thing that I had planned to cook with leftovers today, because the weather is abominable and I really don't feel like going out for anything. So we're looking at the leftovers from the poté yesterday, which I just put away in different containers. So the meat is all together. I've separated, got 2 liters of lovely stock, and the vegetable on their own. So we're going to use 1 pot of the stock, and we're going to use the meat to make petit salé aux lentilles, and the other 2 will go in a soup. For the ingredients, it is really a super easy recipe. So we start with the stock from yesterday's poté, and it has creating a layer of fat at the top. There isn't very much at all, and if you wanted to make today's dinner a little bit more lean, you can easily remove it. I'm going to remove half of it because it also gives a good flavor. The meat, which I put everything in the fridge as soon as it was room temperature yesterday, so this is quite cold still. So we've got sausages and the smoked gammon, which we boiled yesterday. You could easily just buy a couple of slices of gammon and some raw sausages, and then put them into the lentils while they're cooking. You don't have to start from leftovers. Same for the stock. So yesterday we did the stock, and we had onion and a full bouquet garni of parsley, thyme and bay leaf. So this is already made, but if you made it from scratch, what you do is you put your lentils in the pan and you add your bouquet garni to the water. I'm going to add a few carrots, and I'm going to add an onion. Again, they were in the stock yesterday. If you start from scratch, it's always nicer, and I quite fancy that today. And it all goes in 1 pot, just a suitably sized pot with a lid, again to save on electricity while we're cooking. So usually we say around 250 grams of lentils for 4 people. So that was a 500 gram packet. So I've got around 250 grams left. There's only 2 of us tonight, but I want to keep some to put in the soup with the other leftovers. So I'm going to put something like 2/3 of the packet, and then I'm going to just quickly rinse them in cold water, because you know, they are collected with combine harvesters and they be dusty from the field, I think. So after rinsing the lentils, I've put them in the pan. I'm just going to cover the lentils with enough stock. That's a bit much, but I do like them very cooked and very soft. And add the chopped onion, kind of chopped, yeah, not thin, not very thin, and the sliced carrots. I've put 1 onion and 2 carrots, again because I want to keep some of the vegetable to make the soup tomorrow, because David is likely to be on a fast day tomorrow, but I'm not, so I need a little soup. But I'm not keen on the cabbage, so the cabbage might go to the chickens, and I will change the cabbage for the soup. Change of plan, this is normal. Right, so you go on to hot to start with until it starts boiling. Cold, the stock was cold, and then you cook it, yeah, with a pan, in the pan. So if it was a cocotte minute, pressure cooker, it would be just 15 minutes, but with a normal pan and a lid, it's 45 minutes. So I'm going to leave it for half an hour, and in half an hour I will add the meat because it's cooked, only really only needs warming up. It will allow me to check if the lentils need a bit more stock. And but if the meat was raw, I think I would put it for the last 20 minutes or so. Oh, j'ai faim. J'ai toujours faim quand je cuisine. It's been going up in temperature for a few minutes, and I can hear that it's boiling, and I can also see that the liquid is going up. So I'm going to add some. I'm going to reduce the cooking because it needs time, and add a bit of stock like that. So a lot cooler, reduced by half. And now that it's hot, I haven't added any salt and pepper because they were already in the stock yesterday, but obviously if you're starting your stock from scratch, water, parsley, bay leaf, thyme, salt and pepper. Yeah, you need some salt today because the ham is not going to provide enough salt for the dish if you're not cooking it in it. I suppose if you're cooking the ham in it, it will provide some salt, so be careful. But at the moment, so now we're going to leave it. I put it on 4, we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on it. It's been cooking for a few more minutes. I'm just going to check how we're doing. This 4 is too high, I think it's bubbling too much. I'm going to take down a bit. Do I need more water? Might leave the water like that for a bit, and I will check if they're getting soft. They're not getting soft at all yet, so that's checked. So down and checked, and then I've cut the meat ready to jump in. And little treat for the French is cold cooked sausage. Very often a starter, a family starter, when you've had sausage the day before. Tomorrow lunch or tomorrow tea time, you'll have slices of cold sausage as a starter. Love it. I've come back to check and they're getting dry, so I put them a little bit more of the juice. They are starting to open, and I think some people will like them at this stage, just soft but with a sort of still holding themselves, still looking quite shapy. I like them very good. But we're gonna try and see that if in the next lot of cooking I find it enough. Yeah, I will. So they are still too crunchy, but they will be ready next time. So I'm adding the gammon that I've cut into little bits and the sausage. So there's lots and lots of meat. Actually, I definitely have left too much there for 2, but it's gone in, which means, and it's so much meat, you can really stretch it and do lots and lots of meals with £10 worth of gammon there. It was, you know, it's a lot of money when you buy it, but then we had 2 full plates yesterday. We're gonna have at least 3 plates out of today, and what I've done is I've still have 2 slices left, and they're gonna go in the freezer labeled. I have no idea what I will do with them, but one day when I find them, I might have a bit of inspiration. So again, yet another meal out of my £10 worth of gammon, so I'm quite happy with that. So you go on to cook a little bit more. I might add a little bit more juice. I've just done that, haven't I? No, there is enough juice. It's gonna be too liquid if I put any more juice. No more juice. Right. In my bag for the freezer, I've just thought that might be something very typical of my family. I don't really know 100% why we do that, but when we freeze anything, we attempt to remove as much air as possible from the bag. So we usually vacuum pack our food before we put it in the freezer. So I'm not too sure why, and certainly some of you might know and might want to tell me why in the comments, but this is how we do it. Oh, I've lost my label, so I'll rewrite my label and it's gonna go in the freezer. I won't keep it too long, but with the date I know when it's gone in anyway. I like this little tray. This is my grandma, definitely. Always used a piece of the newspaper to hold on to our hot pans like that. So I think that for the average French person, they are cooked now. They are tender, but you need to crock them, you need to bite into them. But I like them more cooked than that. So I'm going to put the heat up to 5 and I'm going to leave the lid open for a couple of minutes so it evaporates more of the water at the bottom, and it's more like I like it. You could serve it now. Be careful not to scoop too much of the water, otherwise it will feel watery and not very nice in the pan. So if you eat them now, you would make sure you don't scoop the water with it, and then I will eat them in a few more minutes of cooking when they've burst. I have carefully fished out all the pieces of meat because I want to keep my leftover lentils for my soup. Here's my plate with a general mix of the lentils and the meat. David's plate has got a lot more meat and a little less lentils because he's really worried that the lentils are going to make him plump. And of course, Bibi has 2 of the cooked sausages, which I have left cold, but I've kept them out of the fridge since I'm cooking, so she doesn't eat too cold. Allez,